You've been lied to, and it's been going on for years. Losing weight is not about overeating, getting enough exercise, lacking self-control, or just being plain lazy. If you want to hear more tools you can use to literally melt away the fat that has been holding you down for so long, and it's not what you think. So let's get started. Here are the 4 big reasons why you're not losing weight. Fat-burning barrier number 1. Your body is not producing enough adiponectin. Adiponectin is literally the hormone that tells your body to burn fat for fuel, and it's like your body's fat-burning torch. Multiple studies have shown that the more of this super hormone you have circulating in your bloodstream, the more fat you burn. And research also shows that low levels of adiponectin are associated with a higher incidence of obesity. According to Dr. Leo Galland, director of the Foundation for Integrated Medicine, quote, "A lack of adequate adiponectin is emerging as a significant factor in people's inability to melt flab and stay slim," unquote. The frustrating thing about adiponectin is that the more fat you have, the lower your levels, which is why losing fat is so darn difficult at the beginning. You need a kickstart. It turns out that researchers have found a natural solution in an extract of 2 plants used for centuries in Ayurvedic medicine, Piper betel leaf and Dolichos biflorus seed. When taken at the real dose, this extract is clinically proven to boost the fat-burning hormone adiponectin by 15.3%. The net result? You burn more fat at an accelerated pace. In fact, in a recent double-blind placebo-controlled study, which is the gold standard for scientific research, overweight people who took the real dose of this extract lost over twice the amount of weight compared to those taking a placebo, while following an identical 2,000 calorie a day diet. The reason for their increased weight loss is simple. Raising adiponectin levels makes it harder for fat to accumulate and makes it easier for your body to turn fat into energy. Now, let's move on to the hormone that keeps you famished and running to the fridge, especially at night, which is the worst possible time to be overeating. And that's fat-burning barrier number 2, too much ghrelin. Ghrelin is called the hunger hormone, and basically the more ghrelin you have in your system, the hungrier you are. So if you find yourself fighting cravings and can't seem to stay away from the fridge after dinner, it may be due to elevated ghrelin levels. And the hard fact is that ghrelin works directly on the hunger center of your brain by activating the brain's response to highly addictive, sweet, fatty foods. This increases your food intake at the worst possible time, usually at night, and ultimately makes you gain more weight. Even worse, it appears ghrelin makes us fatter whether we eat more or not. You can see why losing fat is almost impossible with elevated ghrelin levels. But clinical research shows that the same Ayurvedic blend that boosts your adiponectin levels also lowers your ghrelin levels by 17.3%. And since higher levels of ghrelin lead to more fat whether we overeat or not, it makes sense that a decrease in ghrelin would lead to accelerated weight loss. But the best part is that by decreasing ghrelin levels, you're not as hungry and prone to craving the foods that sabotage your weight loss. If you thought that ghrelin was bad news for your waistline, you need to see what's been dubbed the fat storage hormone. If you're overweight, there's a good chance that you're experiencing some level of insulin imbalance, resulting in excess glucose or sugar in your system. While this doesn't necessarily mean that you're diabetic, it does mean that your body's insulin or glucose regulator becomes less effective at lowering your blood sugars. The end result is that instead of using the excess sugar to feed your muscles or burning it for energy, most of the carbohydrates you consume get stored as fat. It's simple. If you have insulin resistance, and many of us have it to some degree, it makes it virtually impossible to lose fat. But there's a natural substance that comes to us from Madagascar, home to a vast array of exotic plants that's shown to help smash this fat-burning barrier. It's a special green coffee bean called Cafea canephora that contains a powerful weight loss substance called chlorogenic acids, more than 2.5 times the amount than what's in the coffee we drink at Starbucks. And it's these chlorogenic acids, along with other components of this special bean, that help regulate blood sugar. Normally, most of the chlorogenic acids in coffee beans are destroyed during processing. But when extracted and standardized in a special facility in France at the RealDose, this decaf green coffee bean extract exhibits a powerful action that promotes fat loss and blood sugar regulation without unwanted side effects. And it does this by inhibiting both sugar absorption in the small intestine and backup sugar production by the liver. In short, this extract helps reduce the amount of sugar entering into your bloodstream. This forces your body to burn fat as energy instead of sugar, thus helping you to lose weight. And here's the proof. Like the first ingredient, in a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, people who took this extract at the real dose lost more than twice the amount of weight as the placebo group while following the same diet. More impressive still is that this ingredient increased their muscle to fat ratio by 4.1% versus 1.6% for the placebo group. That's over 2.5 times better. More muscle, you will still continue to store additional fat, especially abdominal fat, if you don't keep this final fat-burning barrier at bay. And that's fat-burning barrier number 4, a cortisol overload. Your body produces cortisol in response to stress and ramps you up so you can be ready to fight or flee. This can be a good thing in dangerous situations, like if you were to run across a bear while hiking. But the constant stress we're all under in today's hectic 24/7 crisis-driven world elevates our cortisol levels far beyond what we were originally designed to handle. The result is a quadruple whammy on your waistline. Number 1, excess cortisol increases your cravings for sweets and carbs, which can lead to overeating and constant hunger. Number 2, cortisol causes your body to actually break down your muscle tissue for energy, which is absolutely the worst thing for weight loss, since the less muscle you have, the lower your metabolism will be, and the more fat you'll gain. Number 3, elevated cortisol levels cause a larger percentage of fat to be stored in the abdominal area. What's worse is that the more abdominal fat you have, the more cortisol you produce in response to stress, which then causes more abdominal fat to be stored. Finally, recent studies link high cortisol levels to depression in adults and children. And we all know that when you're depressed, you eat more. It's like a vicious cycle with no end in sight. The good news is that there's an herb from the Altai mountain region of Siberia called Rhodiola rosea that has been used for centuries in Russia and Scandinavia as a natural remedy for stress, anxiety, and fatigue. Now, a big cause of weight gain is stress-related eating. When you feel blue, it's easy to reach for comfort foods, or even worse, drink the stress away. Stress also affects your sleep, and the research is clear that lack of sleep leads to weight gain. Rhodiola rosea is a safe, natural remedy for reducing stress. Less stress means your cortisol levels are lower and your mood is brighter, and your body can more easily burn off dangerous belly fat. When it comes to the real dose of Rhodiola rosea, doctors Richard Brown and Patricia Gerbarg literally wrote the book, The Rhodiola Revolution, which has become a Bible on the subject of this amazing herb. They recommend taking 200 to 400 milligrams per day of a standardized extract of the herb. A pilot study showed a significant reduction in tested anxiety levels, a major contributor to stress, at a dosage of 340 milligrams. You've learned about the 4 barriers to you losing the weight and natural ingredients for breaking through them. You're probably wondering if there's an easier way to address all 4 barriers that doesn't involve trips to India, Madagascar, France, or Siberia. The answer is a resounding yes. And the firm that I helped found, RealDose Nutrition, has developed a unique formula that incorporates these clinically proven ingredients at the RealDose proven effective in the research. Allow me to introduce RealDose Weight Loss Formula number 1. Selected by over 173,000 customers worldwide, RealDose Weight Loss Formula number 1 is the first solution to break through all 4 weight loss barriers, blocking you from losing the weight and keeping it off, without harmful drugs or deprivation, something that's never been done before. Here's how it works. It increases fat burning without requiring more time at the gym. It curbs your appetite so you don't feel deprived and head to the fridge for late night munchies. It helps carbs get used as muscle fuel or burned as energy rather than being stored as fat. And it reduces stress while drop those pounds, feel good, feel valued, and finally be in control. But before I show you how you can get RealDose Weight Loss Formula for yourself, so rather than throwing your time and money away on weight loss solutions that don't work, I'm going to recommend you try a different option. One that I know will double your weight loss and that won't break the bank. You see, because we use unique ingredients. Now, it would be misleading to tell you that this formula will allow you to eat 5 cheeseburgers a day, followed by all the chocolate cake and ice cream you want, and still lose the weight. There is literally nothing in existence that will allow you to eat anything you want and not gain weight. Because it's your choice. So if you've decided that this time is the right time, the next step is simple. Click on one of the order options below. We'll quickly process your request and get your order out the door, usually the same day. Remember, this time your chances of long-term success are finally within reach. I trust that as a doctor who has helped thousands to lose weight, my advice is that you go ahead and take the next step with me. Click on one of the options below to request your order of RealDose Weight Loss Formula and get started with our Healthy Life Coaching program right away. Thanks again for joining me and listening in on the video. I look forward to helping you on your journey to a slimmer and more vibrant new you. There's no need to wait a moment longer, so let's get started today.